Marie, you devoted almost a year to develop learning program for central banking area, and now you are soon embarking on an implementation phase of this program.
Yes, Mattia and I have been working very closely with the Program Development Committee, the Advisory Board, our national coordinators, as well as doing our own in-house desk research of country needs and country assessments of reform priorities.
And central bank autonomy, good governance, those are actually really broad areas. So have you planned follow-up events to dig deeper in those areas?
Yes, we have, keeping always our target audience in mind. Our participants are drawn from ministries of finance and central banks, and also for our activities on prudential regulation and banking supervision from financial supervisory authorities. So what's important is to look at the balance between autonomy and accountability. So one of the very immediate follow-up events that we've planned for next year is looking at the role of government-appointed or externally appointed members on central bank boards to see how best they can contribute effectively to the oversight without interfering into policy making and unduly undermining the autonomy and credibility of the central bank by seemingly having political interference. Another aspect of accountability is also how to deal with, in terms of coordination, collaboration, but sometimes you have different views. So looking at best practice conflict resolution mechanisms and identifying specific policy areas where tensions might arise, to look at how these can be addressed to the satisfaction of both parties, both the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank, because ultimately they're working together towards broader economic goals. Another element of accountability is also the Central Bank good administration and good standards. So this entails, on one part, aligning central banking financial reporting with international standards, but also looking at strengthening internal and external audit functions, as well as organizational issues related to legal functions. HR will be devoting some attention to that in the coming 4 years.
This is actually really interesting because in the internal auditing area that I'm covering, we are on many occasions welcoming participants from central bank, and it's really nice cross-cutting issue that have been identified. And another issue in accountability is also communication, right? So you've been also working with our leadership for reforms team to address this area.
Yes, we'll be putting a lot of emphasis on strategic communication for central banks. And in fact, we'll be starting with an exchange of experience regarding financial stability reporting at the first stage in 2017.
This program actually builds on 15 years of experience in central banking area. So for sure, these core topics will not be left behind actually in the future.
Absolutely not. We continue to put a lot of emphasis on payment systems. And in that area, our 3 key priorities, looking at the workshops and learning initiatives that we've designed, are to help the countries in our constituency move towards the single European payments area, and also to develop efficient platforms for interbank trading, and also looking at the role of the payment systems for promoting access to finance. In terms of statistics as well, we continue to work very closely with partners in this area. We're putting a new project in place looking at the creation and the production of reliable macroeconomic and macrofiscal forecasts, but also looking at the alignment, helping the countries in our constituency to progress in terms of their alignment with European ECB, Eurostat, and also IMF statistical standards. Financial stability, macroprudential policy, banking supervision, the regulatory framework, these continue to be very important areas in the 2017-2020 program. And here we'll be supporting again the efforts of our constituency to align with international standards in prudential regulation and supervision, including Basel II, 3 European capital requirements and EBA guidelines. We'll also be looking at as we have done in the past, on implementation and enforcement issues, because really we are interested in an operational approach that gives participants the chance to exchange knowledge with peers and to look at practical solutions to practical problems that they face. By focusing again on NPL resolution aspects, which are a critical issue for the region, and here we'll be focusing on what are the remaining obstacles in terms of tax, administration, institutional frameworks to resolve the overhang of corporate debt. And we'll also be in this area examining the possibility of setting up a macroprudential toolkit, particularly in the context of shallow financial systems and maybe underdeveloped financial intermediation.
So for sure your program will address many of intersections also between monetary policy, fiscal and financial policy. So how these intersections will be explored?
Exactly. This continues to be the underlying theme of our approach, and we are very much looking forward to reaching out to a number of bilateral partners as we have in the past. We've counted on the support of a number of central banks and financial supervisory authorities and also European institutions for the delivery of the program. And we're basically looking forward to more of the same as we embark on this challenging phase.